What is up, ACL Nation? Welcome into another episode of Baggin and Braggin. This is episode number 13. Apologize. Last week we took a week off. It felt really weird, Meesh. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what happened.
I was like, man, we don't really have much content. We'll kind of take a week off. I wasn't really feeling the best, and then immediately after that, I wanted to message you and say, hey, let's come back and do a show.
But, I've told you we could. I was like, we'll fill it. It's fine.
Everything was kind of just off a little bit last week. So we did take the week off with no content. But we got a good one for you today. We got interviews with Lexi, Hugeback, and Ryan Windsor. They're going to be talking about all their recent accomplishments in basketball and on the poker tables, as well as how they're going to team up for Worlds. And then the first national, they got their live stream time and TV time as the Missouri Mays are set to do battle. Also, we kind of got a little bragging segment about what we got going on. I got a lot to talk about, and I know you do as well. So welcome in. How are things going, Meesh?
So good. I just got back last night, which I'll talk more about in the bragging section because I did my first women's cornhole retreat. It was in North Carolina, so I got in about, I got into the airport around 9:30 last night. Then it's an hour, so I got here about 10:30 Pacific. So that was like 1:30 a.m. if you assume I adjusted to the time zone in 5 days. So coming in a little bit sleepy, but making it through.
Yeah, I got back. When did I get back? Sunday night. I was just frustrated. Spent probably 10 to 12 hours at the car dealership, only to come home empty-handed. It's not a good time to buy vehicles, apparently. The interest rate that they offered me, 10.61%.
Well, I just bought a car, and I think mine was only
I was bummed. So it was like a $848 a month car payment, and I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah, not fun to happen. I almost bought it just because I felt bad how long we were there, and I'm like, well, I could pay it off in this amount of time, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is a terrible deal.
That's an insane rate. Absolutely not. Do not do that.
No, I wasn't going to. So yeah, tomorrow got to take the vehicle to the, repair facility and see if they can't fix up the one I got now. And then I'm going to pay to get it detailed, and I'm going to trick myself into thinking it's a new car. So
it's brand new again. Ask them for the new car smell, air freshener.
Yeah, get spinner hubcaps on it. Feel great.
Hey, a good detail does really make a difference, though, I will say.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll do the trick for me. I don't know. I was kind of bummed. I just wanted to get home. I drove back home on 2 hours of sleep, just angry the whole time. But yeah, it's all right though. I kind of needed that little kick in the butt. So it was a failure motivator in a way. So I've done pretty good.
That is different.
Yeah. Well, I was like, it's kind of like, all right, this is not going to happen again. Now, next time I go to buy a vehicle, I'm going to pay for it in full, like I originally planned to do with this one. So what do I got to do now to take this interest rate problem out of the equation? We talked about this before, Meesh. Don't just have the problem and talk about it. Think about the solution afterwards, such as measuring the boards and stuff. But we're not going backwards. So.
Stop bringing that up.
Yeah. So
we moved on.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get the finances, just pay for the car outright. And
if you could just buy it outright. We specifically wanted an auto loan because that was like the only thing that they said could raise our credit. Mm-hmm. It's already pretty high, but everything is fine. And then the only thing it says is you don't have an auto loan. So we're like, all right. So it's kind of an excuse. I needed a new car anyway. And it was like, oh, we need an auto loan on our credit because it really does help. But we would not have done it with that crazy of an interest rate. That's bananas.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. I mean, I put myself in that situation. Again, bad advice with the debt reduction. Never should have done it, but you live and you learn.
You definitely do. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with our bragging section, which is much more uplifting than the section we just did. All right, it's time to brag. Wait, what?
We're happy. No more.
Oh, yeah, we're happy. Yeah, it's different people. Yeah. I don't know who those people were. I don't know. It's been 5 seconds and all has changed.
Everything's great.
How that works. No, but as I said, I hosted my first women's cornhole retreat, and hosting a women's retreat has been something I've wanted to do for over 10 years, obviously in my previous business doing weight loss. And it just never felt like I could put it together. That just wasn't happening. And I'm a big firm believer in not forcing things. And it felt like I would have to force, like I would have to really work hard to try to get people to sign up, and it would be stressful. And, I just it wasn't worth it to me if it was going to be that hard. And so I just said, I'm going to put it on the back burner. So then fast forward to, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I just put out in my little women's cornhole group, like, hey, would anybody want a retreat? And everyone immediately was like, yes. And I was like, oh, I might be able to pull this off. So
awesome.
I reached out to Rosie Streaker and was like, what do you think about this? And she's like, this sounds incredible. And so she was in, like, ready to go. And we put it together, and I found a house, and I found a chef, and we found boards, and we made it happen. It was really awesome.
Let's say it looked amazing on the pictures. I could see how you guys were bonding and how you're teaching. And like, it looks like, at least in the pictures, whoever took the pictures, it looks like all the girls and ladies were really interested in what you had to say. So, I mean,
it was not acting. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
they were interested.
All right, everybody look really serious, like you're paying attention to what she's saying for this picture. No, it looked cool. It looked like a lot of fun. I'm a little jealous that there's no guys retreat, but I guess we
Okay, so this was exactly what I just said I was telling Trey and Anthony about it, and Anthony started laughing, and he said, guys don't want this. And I said, wait, but all the guys do want this. And he's like, what guys? And he's like, well, let me be clear. I mean, guys aren't going to sit around with notebooks and listen to you talk and take notes. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
It's a bachelor party without the bachelor. It's just a party.
And we were joking about that, like, throughout the days. Like, for example, like, there was never a second that there's a dish in a sink. Like, there's 21 women in this house, and like, not only would there not be dishes in the sink, like, the minute somebody would finish eating, they'd be like, are you done with that? And like, take it to the sink for you. Like, it was just, I'm like, this would be totally different. And we joked that if it was a men's retreat, after the first meal, paper plates, like, forget this.
Yeah, I actually got a sink full of dishes. That's what I'm gonna hit up after this. So I'm actually kind of bragging about what we kind of segued into. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of come back home, get my stuff together. I successfully wrote down all the times of the day, like you talked about a few weeks ago, about during this time, I'm doing this task. And during this time, I'm doing this task. Yep. So I got done early part of the day, did my task, and I waited for the next time. I watched a little TV. I relaxed a little bit.
Wow.
And just that relaxing and kind of slight meditation, not really full blown meditation, but just the relaxing and waiting for the next thing. It was kind of like a really cool way to do checklists. So I was able to accomplish that. I did the Cook Smarts cooking.
How'd that go?
I gotta say, I surprised myself. It tasted better. I'm pretty sure I messed it up. In other words, like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't taste exactly how it's supposed to taste, but it was good. Like, I ate it.
Edible.
Yeah. So, you put me next to a chef, I'm sure theirs is going to taste better, but mine's tolerable. And I'm happy that I was able to cook a little bit. I don't think the program is for me though, because of how much I'm going to travel, but I was able to get the recipes out. And one thing it did kind of teach me is that, all right, you put this and this together, it's going to flavor it this way. You know what I mean? And I could use it. I don't know what I did with some sausages, but I heated those things up yesterday, and oh my God, I was hooked. So hopefully I can kind of retrace my steps and make this sausage again, because it was probably the best sausage I've ever had.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know what I did.
And and the reason why I just keep Cook Smarts going, because I've been using it for like 5 years, and just so people know, Cook Smarts is like tells you what to cook for dinner every night. So, but you still get the groceries and all that, so it's really affordable. But the reason why I keep it is because even though I'm going out of town and stuff, I'm used it enough to validate the cost, because it's like, if it's not like HelloFresh where it's like hundreds of dollars a month, it's like less than $100 for the year. So it does seem worth it for me, just to never have to think about what to cook for dinner when I'm home.
Yeah. So I basically printed out 3 weeks worth of recipes and shopping lists and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of start playing around with a little bit more, but implementing cooking. I haven't had fast food since we started. This was a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, because we skipped last week.
Oh, I take it back. I had one Blizzard from Dairy Queen. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of Blizzards. I love them.
As you shouldn't. Enjoy. That sounds good to me.
Other than that, I've been eating pretty healthy and happy with it. I'm, down 5 pounds. Not too bad. So looking for Spencer McKenzie, because I booked my flight.
Nice.
Ticket for Spencer McKenzie. So Nick and I were already talking about how to break into bags and what we want to do. And I'm excited this year. Last year was kind of like a week away. Hey, you got a partner? Nope. You want to team up? Let's do it. Whereas this time, I'm looking forward to it. I'm psyched, and
we're much more organized this year.
Yeah.
You're much more organized this year. Like it was even at last minute. You're like, maybe I should come Sacramento first, or like we kind of threw it together at the end. But now we're like months out. We already know you're going to come here, and we're going to drive down, and we got it all figured out.
Yeah, so I'll hit up the casino on that Wednesday. I'll fall asleep on the ride down to Sacramento or down to LA like I did last time.
Fell asleep almost the whole 8 hours. You beat Rome. I don't think Rome even took a nap.
Yeah, I was out. That's how comfortable I feel when Nick's at the wheel. But another thing I want to brag about real quick is the kiddo softball team, man. That's my happy place, Meesh. I got to go back, and we're sitting at the field. I'm there. Phone's turned off. You can't get a hold of me if you tried. It was rainy, very, very cold. But I'm watching the kiddo play, and man, I'm very proud of how far she's came, especially batting left-handed. But a lot of the girls that I coached, I mean, we had one girl who was okay, and now she's
when you say when you say batting left-handed, like she's not left-handed?
No, we actually turned her around last year. So she's been batting right-handed her whole life, and then last year we decided to make her bat left-handed because she's faster, so she's closer to first base.
Oh, interesting.
So she ended up batting. I want to say she led the team in batting average, and then had 34 stolen bases in her freshman year, which is a school record.
Wow.
So her first year doing it that well, I was very, very pleased. And with that being said, I actually want to turn her around and bat her right-handed now.
What?
Yeah. So I want her to be diverse in what she can do. But I think as far as her batting left-handed, we had plans with this coach, and then her high school coach retired this offseason. So without her getting the actual training, I don't necessarily know that it's the right move for her going into college. I'd rather her hitting line drives and powers instead of hitting dribblers and running them out, so
I got it.
Yeah, unless I could start throwing money at her hitting coaches. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Rome also had his first baseball game.
Yeah.
He's it's a little different than that. But he's playing shortstop. I didn't get to see it. I was on the airplane, but I did pay for the Wi-Fi on the airplane just so Nick can keep sending me videos and photos of him playing. He hit the ball once, and I don't think he's like used, because he's only played baseball once before, and it was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was T-ball, actually. It was T-ball back then. So this is his first time.
Why am I picturing him running to first base and doing like some jujitsu on the first base?
No, but he ran so slow because in T-ball, you hit the ball and then you go to the first base, but you don't get to keep running. Like you're only allowed to go to first base. And so he hit the ball, and he jaunted over to. We're like, run! I did, Nick. Why is he running so slow? Like, I don't know. He just like moseyed on over to first base after he hit the ball, and so I think he's got to adjust to like real baseball.
Yeah,
which might take a second. But
so you're gonna be one of these parents who yells from the sideline the whole time.
I don't know. I don't usually. Well, sometimes I do. I don't know. We'll see.
I used to, and then I realized, like, all right, she does not like this. I have to.
Yeah.
Stop. And it changed me in soccer, because they got the indoor soccer. They got the plexiglass wall, and you can yell all you want. Them kids aren't hearing any other side.
Oh, they can't hear it.
Yeah.
I was like, because it was at soccer that he told me not to do it, because he plays he's in the defender position or whatever, and he just wasn't like paying attention. The ball was coming towards him, and he was like looking off into the sky, and I was like, Rome, pay attention. And like after the game, he's like, Mom, don't tell me to pay attention. If I don't pay attention, then that's on me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, now he's paying attention to you, telling him to pay attention, still not paying attention to the game.
I know. It's like, okay, I get it. But he wants to learn his own lessons. He doesn't want me to remind him, which is okay. Like, that's fair. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely new for him. So not quite like your daughter there, but maybe someday. Yeah,
so a lot of the girls that are on the team, though, like I said, I coached them coming up, and I'm watching them play, and I'm like, man, junior year is going to be amazing. And they're like, no, she's still a sophomore. So I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, we still got one other girl who's in 8th grade. She'll be coming up, and then from what I understand, the coach's daughter's a pitcher, and she's apparently really good. So she'll be a freshman when my daughter's a senior. So I'm like, we got 3 years. I think they're going to make a run at a title in 3 years, because a lot of these girls, I'd say 7 out of 9 play select ball. So they've been putting in the work. So I'm excited. They're doing really well. They're 3-1 right now.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with interviews with Ryan and Lexi. So don't go anywhere. It is time for our interview segment of our show. Today we have Lexi Hugeback and Ryan Windsor joining us. Now, Ryan, we know you were just on another show. We're not going to talk about that show.
My man's getting his TV time in.
But the reason why we wanted to bring you on is because of your recent poker experience. You were talking about the fact that you were going to become or wanting to become a professional poker player, and then you went and did this big tournament. So we wanted to talk about that. And then Lexi, we were actually trying to get you on last week, but didn't work out. So we wanted to get you on the show. We know you've been having some stuff going on with your back, and we've got a big national coming up. So we brought you both on to have a great conversation. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What up?
All right. So I'm going to start with you, Ryan. You went into this big tournament. Can you just tell us kind of like a little bit about the poker tournament and how it went? And we know you made it pretty far. So give us the insight.
So there was a total of 718 entries for this tournament. So, I mean, it was definitely a marathon, not a sprint. But it was $1,110 to buy in. And I believe the top 72 out of the 718 made the money. And I played Saturday from 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. And then I drove home 2 hours and 20 minutes to take care of my dog and take like a 30-minute nap. And then I woke up really early and drove 2.5 hours back over there in the morning when play resumed at 11 a.m. And then I played from 11 a.m. till, I don't even know, like 8 or 9 p.m. I don't really remember when I finished. But I played poker at a high level for 2 days straight, basically with 30 minutes of sleep. But I ended up getting 5th place out of the 718 players. So, I mean, that was definitely my biggest win ever.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you stay awake? That's crazy.
Because I'm doing what I love to do. So plus I had my headphones in, and
he was going to say he's built different, weren't you?
It's built different.
It looked like he was about to say I'm built different.
That's a shirt coming soon.
Yeah. So talk about that for a little bit, Ryan, with how you got to stay focused for longer periods of time, where if you're on the cornhole boards and you make one mistake, it could cost you 2 points. On poker, if you make one mistake, it could cost you $10,000+. So got to talk a little bit about your different focus levels for long periods of time, or do you take a break, or what do you do?
No, it's definitely a marathon, and it's all poker is just a mental warfare. Like cornhole actually like wears you down like mentally and physically, because you're playing on concrete 12 hours a day, 3 hours straight. So like I'm used to the long grinds, but poker it's just all mental. So you just have to have your mentality and your mental focus there. It doesn't really wear me out physically because you're just sitting there the whole time. So it's all just mental warfare to me, but it's all it comes down to really just 2 main things. That's how I view the game, and that's you have to have a lot of patience and a lot of discipline. So if you have those 2 things, and knowledge, those are the 3 things actually: patience, knowledge, and discipline. And those, I think I have those 3 things, so that's why I made that long run.
That's so awesome. I'm curious, Lexi, have you played poker? Do you play Hold'em?
I have no idea how to play. No, not a big player.
We're going to have to get a poker tournament together at Worlds. You guys are teaming up for co-ed. We'll have to figure out a way to do like a co-ed poker tournament, and Meesh and I'll take you guys on. $36,000. Put it on the line.
I love poker so much, but I don't think I necessarily have patience.
Yeah, see, that's the thing for me is like on the cornhole boards, I'm sure Ryan feels like he can go in and win every game, right? Like Ryan's very confident in his cornhole ability. On poker, I'm the same way, which is my problem. I go to the table, I feel like I can win every hand. So if I look down, I'm like, oh, 7-9 of diamonds, let's go. I'm going to win. it's a different mindset. I can't do that. I
The
can't take
odds
that same
don't make
approach.
sense there, Wally. I hate to
Yeah.
break it to you.
I'm always looking for that huge upset where somebody's gonna be pissed and throw their chips on the table and be like, "Why are you playing that?"
Yeah, that is actually really irritating, though. Don't do that.
I've been on
All
both
right.
sides of it.
Yeah, for sure. And then Lexi, tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you. I know you mentioned on Facebook that your back's been kind of bothering you, so give us an update.
Yeah, so I had a basketball game, like my back and my legs were starting to hurt. And so I don't know, I still played through it, and the next day I just had sharp pains and I had no idea what it was. It made me cry. So I was like, something ain't right. Went to the chiropractor and he's like, well, I hope it's not like a disc issue. He's like, I don't think it is. Then I went to the doctor and then they were like, you need to get an MRI. We think you broke your back. And I'm like, there's no way I broke my back playing basketball. And then I went, got the MRI and came back. I have a disc that burst into my spinal cord. I have arthritis in my neck and then spinal stenosis. So
What does
not
that
great,
mean?
so the like stenosis, just like the narrowing of the spine. So like all my nerves are getting like pinched or whatever. So sometimes I lose like feeling in my left leg. The highest it got to is like middle calf area. The arthritis in my neck makes half of my left hand go numb. So I'll be sitting in film just trying to get it to not be numb anymore. But I don't know. It's kind of just
Does it
just
come
working
and go? Is it gradual, or does it just instantly like snap into the pain?
The pain is kind of gone now. This happened like a month and a half ago, kind of. So it's just seeing the chiropractor and then doing PT when I can, so I can do that when the inflammation goes down. So it's kind of just laying in bed and not doing much.
Yeah, Ryan
honestly.
needs to teach you how to play poker because then all that stuff wouldn't necessarily matter.
Yeah. It's difficult like mentally. I mean, obviously physically it hurts, but mentally it's more difficult because I'm so used to like taking my mind off of things with basketball, cornhole, and then just working out. And I obviously can't do any of them. But cornhole is very like less contact sport, obviously, so I can do that. It's just the bending is what I can't do. So I couldn't even pick up my bags at our conference. It's difficult. It's hard, but you gotta work through it.
Yeah, trying to ground an active person, I could definitely relate. Whenever I got hit by that truck and my leg snapped in half, I had to relearn how to walk. And then, like right during that time, we had state championships for softball. So I'm there on my crutches. I'm watching my softball team go on. So I know it had to pain you, but let's talk a little bit about the Rochester Yellow Jackets. Shout out to them. Congrats on the championship. So
Thank you. So we won the national championship this last Saturday. Sitting there was obviously hard, but we worked super hard for it. We all came back. We got third last year, so we thought we can come back and just win it all, and we did it. We worked super hard for it. A lot of hours in that gym and listening to our coach yell and bicker at us, but it was worth it. 100%
Nice.
worth it.
That's awesome. So congratulations to both of you. Big weekends. That's great.
now
Now,
we're talking to champions here, okay?
I mean, no kidding. I mean, even without the other stuff, just cornhole, we have elite players sitting in front of us. And speaking of that, you guys revealed the roster for the teams event coming up. Ryan, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of that and why you put people with whomever or what order or any of that details about the teams?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the teams coming up in a couple of weeks at the first national in Texas. So, I mean, it's a best of 7. I put me and Gavin to play first. I'm going to try to go out and set the tone and be a team leader. And then I also had Cedro and Fuentes as my co-captains. So I drafted both of their pro partners. So they're throwing with their normal partners, and they're obviously the same bag companies. I have Lexi with her pro partner, obviously same bag company. I think my team is pretty well, comfortable with their partners. If they're not with the same bag companies, they're at least good friends. Like I have Bernasette with Mayball. I'm really excited and I'm really happy with my team and I'm really looking forward to it.
So what made you, so the coasters had to pick first, right? Because you guys won the coin toss. So what made you put your best team against their first team as opposed to just letting them have that first win?
Nah, why would I just let them have the first dub? Because then they're gonna scream and go crazy and be all hype, and then our team's gonna feel like we're just gonna get ran over.
He's out there to crush souls right off the bat.
It's not a bad. I'm just curious about the strategy. I'm not saying it's good or bad. And then it could very well come back to Lexi and Emily's game as the deciding factor. So, Lexi, how do you feel about being in that 6th game slot?
I didn't even think about that. So thanks, Windsor.
Yeah, you got 2 female rookies on the back end. You're gonna have to hold it down.
But look who they're playing. They're playing Miranda Coy and Lori Duel, so I think it's an even matchup.
I'm excited. I'm nervous to be on TV, but it's a part of the process.
You're an athlete. I know maybe not an athlete on ESPN or CBS normally, but I feel like you probably have an advantage over someone that's not already an athlete.
Right. I see that. It's just not being in that position. Obviously, Lori and Miranda have a advantage in that part of the perspective, I guess you could say, because they've played in like the shootout stuff like that. Me and Emily, it's our first time, but I'm excited for it. Me and Emily are cool. We're good friends and we're pro partners. I don't know how else it could get any better.
Yeah, Ryan, what are you going to do to offer these people who haven't been on TV yet before on the main stage? What type of advice are you going to offer them?
I'm going to offer them an alcoholic beverage to help calm the nerves. I believe they're both 21, right, Lexi?
I need a couple.
Yeah, you better check that first. Check IDs, but I like it. So just relax the nerves and then just play like it's any other game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's dive a little bit deeper into that, but we'll take a quick commercial break and come back right after this. All right, so we were talking about kind of how it'll be Lexi and Emily's first time on a broadcast. Ryan actually, obviously, lots of experience on a broadcast. Aside from helping them loosen up with a beverage, is there anything else you could do to maybe help them with the thoughts that might happen, or just even Rosie's talked about just the fact that the cameras come like really close to you, like any things like that you can offer just from having the experience?
I think the most important thing is that you live in the moment. You don't really think about the past or think about the future. You just have to live for every second and enjoy every little moment out there. But also, my second piece of advice would probably be just stay like locked in on the board and the hole. Like try to be tunnel vision on your aiming point the whole time. Don't be looking at the cameras. Don't be looking at the crowd because all of those are distractions, and the best way to block out all distractions is just try to be tunnel vision. And in order to do that, you just have to be looking directly at the hole and nothing else, basically the whole entire time. So that's my piece of advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. Lexi, are you going to be wearing headphones or anything, do you think?
For doubles, I usually don't, just 'cause I like to communicate with my partner, but I don't know. This is so new to me, so I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. I don't know.
Well, you were on Minnesota Live talking about being the first Minnesota pro. I mean, you got the big lights experience. And you think that'll factor in and help out?
I don't know. This comes to skill
like
at this.
Yeah, I mean, you got the K9 unit live feed experience. You know how to play on the main court before. It's just a little bit more expensive cameras, is all.
Oh yeah.
Aren't you the state champion, Lexi?
I am, actually.
Well, there you go.
It was ugly, but
yeah, so playing with Emily, she's a little bit different contrast for you. She's very, very quiet. You kind of like to get chirpy and, like to fire yourself up a little bit. What's it like playing with her on the other end where you might need that pick-me-up, and then she's just kind of...
She does feed off of me a little bit. It's kind of good for me to maybe mellow out so I don't get like those really high highs and those really low lows. In basketball, I'm a very emotional player. I play with my emotions on my sleeve. I love the game. That's how it is with cornhole. It's just sometimes my highs get too high. So it's good for her to not keep hyping me up. She's kind of just like chill out just a little bit type of thing.
Yeah, like kind of grounding. That's always good to have in a partner.
For sure.
And Ryan, what do you think about the fact that a lot of people say the Carolina Coasters are, one of the number one, if not the number one team out there, and you're playing them first?
It's perfect because I'm ranked last in the division, so everyone loves an underdog, right? I don't got nothing to lose.
That's a great story. That's true.
Only
I'll
a
be
Cinderella
curious.
story until you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to be really curious to see what the odds are on this one.
I mean,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get odds in the next couple of weeks.
It's always a great feeling to prove people wrong. So
let's talk a little bit about heading into Worlds. You guys agreed to be co-ed partners this year. How excited are you guys, and what are you going to do leading up to that? Do you have opens in mind or any type of tournaments where you guys are going to throw to prep for that?
I'm not sure about the tournaments to prepare for it, but we were partners last year, and we had a really good run, but came up short at the very end. Both of our losses was to Tony Smith and Bella. I'm pretty sure that was our 2 losses, and they were the world champs last year, so obviously they're a really great team. So we had a really good run last year, and we came up short. It was all my fault. So if she just continues to do what she does, I just got to pick it up a little bit on my end, and I think we'll have a really great run again this year.
Lexi shaking her head.
It was not his fault. We both had our opportunities, but we just couldn't follow through with it. But it gave us a little taste of like what we can do. So it's a good stepping stone, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Now going back to the other sports and events that you do you find there's a big difference between the sort of focus you have to have in poker versus cornhole? And then Lexi, I'll go to you after that, between basketball and cornhole.
I think it requires the same amount of focus. It's just with cornhole, I've been playing it for 12 years, so I kind of feel like I'm just going through the motions sometimes. I still love the game. I'm still really passionate. But with poker, like I'm just now like really starting to go pro in that. So it's like I'm not going through the motions in poker. It's like I'm just like I don't know. It's really an undescribable feeling.
More
like you're not in automation yet. Like in cornhole, you're kind of more in automation, it sounds like. In poker, you're not there at this point.
What do you got to do to qualify as pro? Is it an earnings level, like certain tournaments won, or?
No, I mean, in order to consider yourself a pro at something, that's basically just your main source of income. I mean, obviously, I'm a professional cornhole player. That's my main source of income. But I'm trying to be semi-pro in poker, I guess. We can say that.
So if my income level is $100 and I make $100 in
yes,
poker,
that's all you need to survive on.
Let's go.
Don't quite think so. And then Lexi, how about you for cornhole and basketball?
I would say it's the same amount of focus. It's just the sports are kind of different. They're same competitiveness, but basketball, there's like 4 other people on the court with me, so it's more of like a team sport. Cornhole, I mean, obviously you have doubles, but it's just you kind of only can focus on your 4 bags that you throw. You can't really control your partner, and you can't control your teammates on the basketball court, but it's a game of mistakes, and it's just how many mistakes can you make the other team make, etc. So, I mean, that's kind of how I play like a dirty game. So I put in that block in the roll, just kind of like a contested shot in basketball. That's kind of how I correlate the two together, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You are one of the few females to play that style of game. Do you feel like that's an advantage for you playing in the women's field?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't have as much experience as other people do, but I have had a lot of people that, I hate when you block. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to do it again now.
Yeah.
Tell me your weakness. I'm going to use it against you.
Right. No, I think it's definitely like a different type of focus, but it's just how locked in can you be type of thing.
Now, Lexi, if you had an option, I'm only going to give you one. You got a chance to win a WNBA title or a Cornhole World Championship. Which one you taking?
Probably the Cornhole with Windsor.
Let's go. Smart. All right, if I take Ryan off the screen, is it the same answer?
Well, then women or normal size.
All right,
Yeah,
so
no
cornhole
pressure.
title it is.
For sure.
Yeah, no pressure on you, Ryan.
I mean,
Same question on the other side, Ryan. You got a chance to win your poker ring, and I'm not saying WSOP because that's a large purse that comes with that one. But if you got a chance to win your poker ring or no more cornhole titles, you know what I mean? Like if you win your ring, you can't win any more cornhole titles. You taking it?
oh, come on. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, second place still pays.
But I'm trying to. Nah, you can't conflict my goals like that. I'm going to try to achieve both of them.
All right, no ring for you. I tried giving it to you, man. No, good luck, bro. I'm excited to see you play poker. I mean, you had the entire internet live feed, like all my friends. I got 5,000 friends on Facebook. Humble brag, yay. But all my live feed was when you were playing poker was just, man, what's the chip count now? I'm refreshing. Everybody's sharing screenshots of where you're at. Like we all needed a live feed to watch you play, man. You had the whole cornhole world sucked into that tournament.
I mean, yeah, it was $142,000 for first place, and I was in the final table, and I was actually chip leader at one point.
Yeah.
And then, I got into I got into a couple hands I shouldn't have got into, and like you said earlier, it's just one or two mistakes, and it can cost you. So
was that your takeaway? Like when you look back at that tournament on what you might do differently, or I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you play cornhole and you lose, but you played your best, just that person happened to play better, and then the times that you lose because you kind of didn't play your best. Like, where were you in the poker tournament in that regard?
I mean, I was grateful to get fifth out of the 718, but at the same time, I was still upset with how I played because I knew I could have did better. It was a lot of it all just kind of happened at once. I was really just living in the moment, and everything was happening, and I haven't made a final table before of that type of buy-in. I've won poker tournaments before, but not like for 142,000 for first. But I was upset with myself on two mistakes that I made at the final table, but at the same time I was also really grateful just to even be on the final table. So
Did you know any of those people that were in the final table?
not before that weekend, but there was one guy, his name's Max, that I was kind of talking to all weekend. He was like the guy I kind of became friends with, or was just kind of getting to know or whatever, that I thought was a really good player. He was actually on my table when I very first started the tournament. I'm like, okay, this guy's really good. I can tell this guy's different. And then we were kind of talking, then we switched tables, and then we're like, oh wow, we both made day two, that's awesome. And then we grinded all day two, then we're like, oh wow, now we're on the final table with each other when we started the tournament with each other. So that was really cool.
Did anybody recognize you
No.
outside of that? No.
Was that a weird world? Like normally you're used to being kind of, a big name in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, they're just like, who's this kid? Like, check his ID. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just had my headphones in. I was just blocking everybody out for the most part.
Vibing. All right. So heading into the first national, obviously there's a lot of stuff that you're going to be experiencing for the first time, Lexi. What are you doing leading up to that? I mean, you obviously got to rest your back and get yourself into position to play, but you got a lot of events for women. It seems like you got more. So what do you got planned as far as preparation for the national?
Honestly, I think just working on myself mentally, because physically my back will heal. Kind of just like resting, and then when I do feel good, I just throw for a little bit. I mean, I kind of have to use like one of those bag picker uppers to pick up my bags, but just fighting through it. Honestly, it's mentally, how tough can I be, and I just got to work through it. I got to push through it.
I hope you win with that bag picker upper thing, because I've been trying to make that look cool for a while, so I don't have to bend over. So if you get on TV and you have to
Like
use the
it's the new
bag picker
norm?
upper, yeah, make it cool so I can start bringing them.
Oh man.
At a conference, my mom actually picked up my bags and handed them to me, and she was my quote-unquote cornhole caddy.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder
So
if we'll ever get to that point.
maybe that.
What do you,
It's a thing.
what do you think here? I think there's a slight lean to the left on the board. You know.
Does anyone else just instantly think of Happy Gilmore? I just think
Yeah.
of that caddy. All right. Well, that's all we have time for. It's been so awesome getting to chat with the both of you. We wish you all the luck at our first national and obviously playing together at Worlds. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys.
It is time to go through our highlights. What highlights are we looking at, Wally?
This will be Open number 9, Westwego, Louisiana. Hung out there
Ooh,
with
that was,
Brian Betancourt, Jimmy Humans. We had a lot of guest speakers on the microphone. Got Hennessy to calm down for like 12 seconds and join me for half a match, I think. But it was a fun time, man. It was a very hectic weekend. Yeah, it was a very hectic weekend, but a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of highlights. And spoiler alert, Devin Harbaugh's in a lot of these clips.
Oh, well, as he should be. I was going to say that was like that's like a party town. So I was curious how that tournament was going to go for the people who are over 21 and if that would impact their game. All right, let's look at number 5. I have not seen any of these. I am excited.
Yeah, so
right,
number 5. This is actually kind of a funny one because Tubby's been throwing very, very well leading up to this point. Tubby was in the king seat of this bracket. Devin Harbaugh had to work his way all the way back through the I want to say they played in the king seat, and then Devin lost to Tubby, if I'm not mistaken. So this was a battle back to take this one down. And they had a very, very tough bracket. So this little clip here is going to start with Devin Harbaugh showing you all the different shots, all the different skills. There's quite a few shots here. So go ahead and let it play out, and we'll walk through it. But slick side, going underneath that bag.
That's all the way to the left of the hole.
Yep. So this is kind of fun. I fast forwarded this one here. At this point, it's 20-0. Devin's throwing like an 11 point something PPR. Tubby calls a timeout here on his first bag. He walks down there.
Like, I gotta do something.
Yeah, he's talking to Tyler and Tice on the side and just trying to figure something out. And surprise, surprise, he took the whole 60 seconds or whatever you're allowed, by the way. But surprise, surprise, it actually worked. Harbaugh comes back with a 2. And then Tubby
but not when you say it worked. I just want to be clear. It's not like he threw phenomenally. He just got a mistake. I mean, all his bags were on the left side of the board.
Yeah, you want to kind of figure out a way to slow down Devin Harbaugh, take a full timeout with the open board. But there you see slick side cut coming across the board, roll shot, and then look at the angle on this one. The landing spot, hard angle, lands right on the Stevie and gets it to go in. Just phenomenal showing from Devin Harbaugh here in open number 9.
Devin Harbaugh giving us a clinic, as they say.
Championship well deserved.
Absolutely. All right, we got number 4.
Number 4.
This is the one. Hold on. This is the chick that I was saying this would hurt my back to throw like this.
Very unique throwing style. I got to say, she was very impressive the whole weekend.
She's very good.
First time I ever saw her throw, I was kind of like, okay, this should go well. And of course, she's teamed up with my boy Craig over on the other side. And I like her receiving the feedback. You'll kind of see it here in this clip where she's basically asking him what to do. She's got the hole surrounded here. He decides to go with a back block. She waits for Craig, says, all right, go back in there, shoot it. She confirms. She goes in, up top, collects all 3 bags, gets them to go. First time seeing the ninja bags on the court. So
she hit the left side. She technically hit his bag. Hers were just so far in the hole that it took everything.
Yeah, so they had a good run in the blind draw, I believe.
She's so good. Like she's just such a deep bend, and it's not a bend of her legs, it's a bend of her back. Because it's hurting anybody else's body, it's just me. It's like a full. We just, we're gonna talk to Lex. We talked to Lexi about this, and like, can you imagine if Lexi threw like that? She wouldn't be able to play.
Oh, you never know. Might fix her. Might stretch her back out a little bit. I don't know.
I guess so.
I couldn't do it. I'm with you. I'm hurting just watching.
All right, let's go to number 3.
Number 3, it's kind of just a clip of the round, but I wanted to get these guys on there. These were 2 of the most impressive guys for me this weekend. Like Ethan's had the shots before, but it looked like he had a little mental lapse with Carson in doubles. And then when he came back strong. He's
Okay.
very strong. His rolls were on point. You'll see it here. And then Blaine Rozier wasn't on my radar at all for this season. I kind of thought he was one of these middle tier pros, but Blaine showed me something.
Oh, missed airmail.
Yeah, the one miss, but his airmail for the most part this game was on.
Going for the collect. Moved it closer. Block behind.
Yep, but again, Ethan's roll.
Oh, beautiful.
The difference with Ethan's roll, it's a straight roll. It kind of lands right in front of the bag and stays on a straight path. So I guess Anthony would call it the wheel. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it is more of a wheel. That's true. But
yeah, I was very impressed with Ethan and Blaine.
Not Carson.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with Carson at all.
Who is that guy? Oh man. Okay, number 2.
Number 2, Devin Harbaugh on the other side again, of course, but this one's for Fisher. I don't know if you remember this round, but number 2, you got a double bar of soap coming. The way this round plays itself out is very impressive as well. So kind of let it roll itself out. You see good cut there from Fisher. Again, he's showing you everything. Around.
Devin throwing BGs.
Yeah, Devin throwing BGs with I think Blake and then Hunter that weekend. So just goes to show you. We might start doing power rankings, I believe, next week. We don't have any highlights. Actually, we do have highlights. We got viewer highlights next week.
It's crazy.
So we got viewer highlights next week, and then I think we might start doing some power rankings.
Like you were talking through the shot, Wally.
I'm just letting people know what's coming up.
Okay, well, just hold on. I wish that was in slow motion because it's really hard to track which bag. So
yeah, the bar soaps are really hard to see.
Devin's got 2 bags to the right. Fisher's got a bag underneath, but on the left. So he throws the bar soap, and so
himself off the hole as well.
Yeah, so Devin's 2 bags that were in the front right are now gone. And there you go. Booyah.
Yeah, then Devin finishes it off with the old airmail drag. It was on slick side, but all that for a wash. But very impressive, though. Fisher can show you can throw both sides. Slick side bag is a lot of these sticky bag throwers don't use very much.
Yeah.
The number 1's a short clip, but it was impressive. It was to win the championship against Devin. Jimmy Humans up top. That bag on the left looked out of play to me. I don't know how he grabbed it.
Look at it. It's not even over the hole at all.
And it looks like it's flattened, like to the point where he can't even grab it. Hits it perfectly.
That does not even happen. It's like he grabbed a buddy. Like we're all going in.
Yeah, and then there's the reaction that
Devin is like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, so Devin's already got one off the board. This is for the win for the blind draw championship. So Alex Rawls and Jimmy Humans take it down.
Yeah, with a shot like that. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Very impressive, man. I gotta say, that's something that I would have done. I'd have landed right on top just like that. But it was a fun-filled weekend. There's a lot of clips. You guys will start seeing all the highlights from Open number 9 as your boy has finished the commercial. So
I'm excited to work on the music for that. I just got back, so I haven't had time, but I will dive into that. Get you some more tunes.
We got again. I was talking through the highlight clip, and I apologize, Meesh. We should have rehearsed this a little bit better, but yeah, Open number 9 catches us up for the Opens. I lied to everybody on ACL Live last week, saying the Canadian Open was last week, and everybody flipped out. I didn't check my dates, so. It was really weird doing an ACL Live bracket breakdown for a tournament 3 weeks in advance. So it threw me off guard. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So we do have, I would probably say 9, maybe 10 submissions. Again, we'll leave it open until Friday. So if you guys want to send in clips, if you have an amazing shot and you want to get on the highlight reels next week, go ahead and send them to k9cornhole@yahoo.com. I'll go through them and put together something. So viewer highlights next week. And hopefully we'll do a power list and kind of go through, who we think is hot in the cornhole world going into this national.
All right, that sounds good. And I guess, that sounds good. Well, that's all we have time for. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you guys all next time.